Thank you very much for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields. I hope you had a good weekend. Now, we're tracking a big time front that is going to be headed our way. Plus, I want to show you just why it's been so windy for some of us, and some of us need some rain and we'll get some. Others were still a little bit too dry. So we'll track that forecast as we go forward. In the kind of a shorter picture, or at least a regional picture, you can see again some of those scattered areas of rain around. Not a whole lot yet. We're going to be waiting on this big front, but a lot of us have been dealing with those gusty winds. I don't like to just tell you what the weather is, but also kind of the why behind it. Well, what's been going on is those winds have been really just shooting down out of the northeast for a lot of us. It's been windy across parts of the Bahamas, Cuba, over toward Jamaica, just to name a few. We've had a big area of high pressure to the north. Winds around that are clockwise, just kind of funneling down some of those gustier winds. So that's why we have been so windy. Just all of that shooting down with an area of high pressure to the north. But all of this is going to gradually slide off to the east as that next front starts to move in. Let's track the winds first, and then I want to show you that front that will be headed our way. Now, looking at some of the gustier winds, still that flow kind of coming in out of the northeast and east. And you see the winds here, that purplish or pink shading showing up, generally around 55 kilometers an hour, or about 35 miles per hour, even a little bit higher in spots. We've had the gusty winds Haiti and the Dominican Republic, right across the central Caribbean, and then up to the north. Still some of those strong winds. That is kind of common for this time of year, and that is going to lead to those elevated seas, which I'll show you in a moment. But look at this. Winds are everything when it comes to the weather, and this is by the time we get into Wednesday. You see the winds very strong, pulling off the southeast coast of the United States and the Gulf of Mexico, shooting down out of the north. Some of the winds will be gusting 45 miles per hour or higher, and that's roughly right around 70 kilometers an hour or higher. This is the next front. This is a strong front that's going to be moving in. It'll eventually give some of us some rain and then change those winds and the temperatures again. So let's track that front, and then I'll zoom down, show you the rain totals and some of those wave heights. Now, I mentioned last week this spin I'm watching in the Atlantic, still not seeing any signs of development, right? I'll monitor that as we go throughout the week. Right there, just some of the extra rain that is just to the northeast of us. Here comes a front across the United States, coming out of Canada all the way down through the Gulf. This is a big front. It's not going to move in for all of us, but it is going to move in at least in our northern section. So watching that, colder air behind it, and still that small chance of development just to the northeast, but really not expecting that to become Tony, which is the next name on the list. This here is by Wednesday, and you see everything just kind of progressing. There's that area of rain I'm watching to the east of us. No big signs of development through the middle of the week. And then this here, there's that front dipping down through the Bahamas, Cuba, near the Cayman Islands for us, and near us in Jamaica and Honduras. A sharp wind out of the northwest, and I showed you those winds earlier, not only coming out of the northwest and cooler, but they're going to be on the stronger side. And then this here is Thursday. There's that area that's trying to develop into some sort of subtropical storm. I don't think it will become Tony, but we'll watch it together throughout the week, but it should get tied into the front. Here comes that front rolling through the Bahamas. Now, what's going to happen is that front kind of stalls out a bit. You can see it here moving through Bermuda and then right down near Jamaica. And then this moisture that is trying to, or may try to develop a little bit, will be lifting to the north, kind of gets tied into the front. But back behind this front, that colder air moves in, at least in our northern zones, and we'll be tracking that further as we go throughout the week. So taking a look at the European model, I want to show you, that was the American model. This here is the European model. Just kind of keeping an eye on this area out here northeast of us and to the north of Antigua and Barbuda, north of us and Anguilla. Not seeing this really trying to develop. Here we are across the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago, Barbados, Puerto Rico, just to orient you. This here is by tomorrow, and the European model, very much like the American model, showing this big time front moving in and still keeping an eye on this area of rain, but it's also not showing any signs of development. It is rare to get a named storm in December. It hasn't happened in about a decade decade. But you see right here, there's that front zooming down, and with it, the colder air back behind it. And over the next couple of weeks, we are going to start to get some bigger fronts. Now, this one moves into the northern Caribbean and across Central America. But as we get closer to Christmas, we are going to see a couple of fronts that will try to move in for more of us. Some of us have been still very hot and are kind of waiting on some of those Christmas breezes. You see the front right here. This here is by Thursday, just like the American model. The cooler air back behind it. But eventually later this month, we'll see these fronts moving in more. And just watching this spot out here, just kind of an interesting area. It's not a threat, even if that were to develop into a subtropical storm, which that chance is super low. It would really just get kind of drawn into this front. This front would kind of pull it to the north, and there's that front by the time we work our way into Friday, and then it starts to stall out, which is common for us. They don't always nudge through. It takes a big, strong front to kind of nudge through. There's that moisture getting pulled into the front, but as I mentioned, later this month, these fronts will start to dip more and more down to the south. Now, I mentioned the name Tony. I don't believe that will become subtropical storm Tony, but that is the next name on the list. Looks like we're ending the year on Sarah. We don't need any more named storms, no doubt about that. But the list holds. Hurricane season's over, but the list holds through the end of the year. So Tony, Valerie, and William, some of the leftover names on the list. Now here's the kind of a more regional picture to show you a couple spotty showers around. Rain chances not super high. Where it's going to be building throughout the week will be where that front starts to press in. This here is by tomorrow. Same thing, kind of hit or miss showers around, not too much, but that front starting to work its way through the Gulf of Mexico, and that's what we'll be diving down as we go throughout the week. So this here is tomorrow afternoon. Let's move forward into Wednesday to show you that front. There it is, and then it starts to squeeze out a little more rain. You see that Belize, for example, even Guatemala, parts of Mexico, the Yucatan, Campeche, Merida, we may get more scattered showers. And then there's that area to the east, kind of holding to the east of Barbados. There's some of that rain that will eventually lift up into that front as we work our way toward the end of the week. Now, north of all of that, watching these bigger systems, these fronts that continue to work by the Atlantic region of Canada, coming off the east coast of the United States, keeping the pattern very active and just reinforcing some of the cool air. We get these little milder outbreaks, and then we get a front moving in and we get the colder air back behind it. But look at this front. This is the one that's going to be moving in. So this is by Wednesday. So heads up, coming out of Quebec on Wednesday near New Brunswick, we're going to see that higher chance of rain, for example. And then on the back side of it, we're going to see some of that snow and that colder air. And there's that area that I'm watching that should eventually just kind of lift up into this front. But there's that colder air plunging back behind it. Still late on Thursday, still dealing with some rain and a cold rain at that in Newfoundland. Could see even a couple of brief downpours as this front just kind of wiggles its way off toward the east as we get deeper into the week. Now the seas, they're going to be building off the coast of the United States, but with that wind, I mentioned that windy weather first. That's why we have those choppier seas right through the Caribbean. Everything's been building 2 to about 3 meters, so 7 to about 8, maybe 9 feet in spots. So just a heads up for any interest on the waters, things are going to stay elevated across the central Caribbean over the next couple of days. This is by tomorrow. Same thing, southern Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, right through the Caribbean, watching out for the choppy seas. But then here comes that next front through the middle of the week, and dangerous seas building through the Gulf of Mexico. Look at the Bay of Campeche. We could see some of the seas upwards of about 4 meters, even about 13 feet as this strong front moves in. So the seas, once again, with another big front, will be building as we get toward the middle of the week. Now, as far as the rain totals go, they're not super high. We could get a passing shower. Bahamas were mainly dry. Once we get deeper into the week, we'll be watching that front that will be moving in. Cayman Islands, Jamaica, we're mainly on the dry side the next couple days. Slight chance of a shower for us, for example, in Jamaica. And if we get one, we may get 10, 15 millimeters of rain, quarter, half of an inch of rain. That's what we're looking at. Haiti, Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, same thing. Anguilla, St. Bart's, just these passing showers. Now, a few of us, if we get a couple of repeat showers scooting by, may get an inch or two of rain. 25 millimeters of rain to 50 millimeters of rain. The Dominican Republic, Dominica, we could get a couple of those quick passing showers. Same thing, Trinidad and Tobago. We may see a little more moisture just creeping in. That heaviest rain is just off to the east and kind of holding, but still that chance of a few spotty showers. And you see closer to the water in Guyana, rain chance a little higher. Same thing as we work our way into Suriname. And then watching eventually some of those scattered areas of rain close to Honduras, Nicaragua, where we could get 50 millimeters of rain or 2 inches of rain. Heaviest should be over the water, watching over toward Panama. But then we're going to see the front, and you see the front here. These rain totals here, these higher totals, that's with the front that could dump a quick couple inches of rain or 50 millimeters of rain. This is what will be progressing later in the week. So eventually Central America, parts of Cuba, will eventually start to get some more rain. But you see that rain chance is not super high the next couple of days. Today, we're mainly dry across Jamaica, small chance of a shower, mainly dry the next few days across the Cayman Islands. And that rain chance, Trinidad and Tobago, yeah, we could get a few spotty showers, but that rain chance generally stays low. If you do get a shower, let me know in the comments, location and what you're getting. But that rain chance, 20-30% in Barbados the next couple days. Just a 20% chance today in St. Lucia. Could see a shower or two, though, tomorrow and Wednesday. About a 30, maybe 40% chance. 20-30% chance over the next 3 days in Grenada. Rain chance 20%, St. Vincent the Grenadines today. And a 30% chance for tomorrow. 20-30% chance the next couple of days in Martinique. And holding on to that very isolated chance of a shower. Dominica, 30% chance the next 2 days, a 20% chance by Wednesday, 20-30% chance in Guadeloupe. Rain chance stays minimal. Antigua, Barbuda, again, most of that rain is off to the east, so the rain chance stays small. 20-30% chance over the next 3 days. St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat. Anguilla, St. Bart's, rain chance 20% today, 30% tomorrow, 30% chance on Wednesday. And we do the same thing. St. Martin, Saba, and Statia, rain chance a minimal 20-30% chance. In the next couple of days in Puerto Rico, we just have a 20% chance of a shower passing by. Same thing, U.S., British Virgin Islands, 30% chance today, 20% chance tomorrow. Watching that breeze around. If you have some of the gustier winds too, let me know in the comments. Rain chance stays on the small side across the Bahamas and the small side as well on the low side as we work our way back through the Turks and Caicos. Now, the Dominican Republic northern sections, we may get a few scattered showers the next couple of days, about a 50% chance. We work our way into Haiti. That rain chance stays low, just a 20% chance. But look at this. By Wednesday, with that front starting to drop in, Belize, we're going to be up to a 50% chance, and that's what we'll highlight through the week as that next front moves in. Later in the week, that rain chance starts to go up. Aruba, Curacao, and Bonaire with those winds out of the east. We may get a passing shower, but the rain chance stays very low. Now, as we work our way into Guyana, this is closer to the water. Northern sections, better chance of rain. Same thing as we work our way into Suriname. Northern sections, we may get a few scattered showers. Cuba, we're mainly dry, but by Wednesday and Thursday, with that front moving in, we'll start to see some of those scattered showers. Costa Rica, Panama, rain chance about 40-50%, a 40% chance the next few days in Nicaragua, and about a 40% chance as well in Honduras. So not a super high chance. Waiting on that next front, Guatemala and El Salvador. By Wednesday and Thursday, the rain chance should get a little higher. And in Mexico City, rain chance stays very small over the next few days. Low chance of rain across the Yucatan Peninsula for now, but I showed you with that front moving in by Wednesday into Thursday, the rain chance will bump up with some scattered showers. Northern Colombia, rain chance stays small, staying on the low side as well in northern Venezuela. And as we work our way into Bermuda, we're just going to keep an eye on these fronts, these bigger fronts that will be headed our way, and we'll time those out as we go throughout the week. So those strong northeasterly winds right now for some of us, watching those gusty winds, watching that spin out there in the Atlantic, but not seeing any signs of development. The big cold front to the north, that'll eventually bring in some cooler weather, and we'll get some stronger fronts moving in throughout the week. And by the way, the last time in December that there was a named storm, that was back in 2013. So you see how rare that is, just kind of watching that area out there in the Atlantic. So I'll be going throughout the comments throughout the day. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a great weekend and have a good day ahead.